at 5 p.m. Hello, good evening. Welcome to Eyewitness News. Coming to you live from our studios here in Accra. I am Sammy Wiafe. Coming up on tonight's edition of the show, Opposition New Patriotic Party (NPP) set September 19th for election of its national officers. Meanwhile, the party has also invited members and stakeholders to submit proposals for possible amendment to its constitution. Minority in Ghana's parliament questions source of 350 million cedis allocated for June 29th flood victims. And later, the Ghana Ace Commission unhappy over comments by Interior Minister that 1,300 applicants in the Security Service recruitment were tested positive for HIV. Stay with us for the next 2 hours as we bring you all these stories and the latest in the world of business, as well as talk back when we bring you the views and opinions you express on the stories we bring you tonight on Eyewitness News. Let's start the show from the camp of the former CEO of the Buffer Stock, because his lawyers have written to the Attorney General in a press statement in response to some things or some comments made by the Attorney General and Minister of Justice in respect of the continuous detention of the former CEO of the Buffer Stock company, which is Hanan Abdul Wahab. His lawyers are not happy, and former Attorney General and Minister of Justice and also lawyer for the former CEO of the Buffer Stock company, Hanan Abdul Wahab, joins us on the telephone now, talking about Mr. Godfred Yeboah Dame. Godfred, good evening. Thank you very much for your time. I've seen the statement you have issued. You seem not to be happy about some of the things the Attorney General has said. Exactly what is your issue?
Well, hello?
I can hear you, Godfred.
Right. Good evening, first and foremost, to your listeners. I think that it is important to correct a few facts. First and foremost, if you recall, the Attorney General even yesterday came out with a press statement in which he stated that he had filed an application for a review of the order given in favor of Hanan Abdul Wahab. And clearly, at the time he issued that statement, he had not filed anything at all. Indeed, throughout the day, he had not filed anything at all. It was only today, towards the close of the day, towards the close for the registry, 1:30 p.m., that he purported to proceed to file the process. So that tells you that you deal with a group of people who, with all respect, do not rely on the facts. They like spinning a lot of inaccuracies in the media. It's almost as if it's a PR battle. The Attorney General knew that there was a lot of pressure on him, public backlash and all, following the unlawful arrest of Hanan, and therefore issued a press statement yesterday that he had filed in the High Court another application for an order seeking a review of the order given to Hanan, when he had not filed anything whatsoever. I find it very, very reprehensible. That is one. Number two, he came up with all kinds of falsehoods. The first being the point that Hanan attempted to withdraw money based on with a court ruling. The point must be made: if a person brings to the attention of a bank a ruling given in his favor to the effect that there is no freezing order in place, does that amount to an attempt to withdraw money? How does one withdraw money from one's account? It's not by the issuance of a check or by the signing of some sort of withdrawal note. We challenge the Attorney General to come up with the evidence supporting the alleged attempt to withdraw funds from Hanan's account. To date, he has not produced evidence. After he has filed his application, he rushed to the media as usual. You can see circulating in the media the application that he has filed, and claiming that Hanan sought to more or less throw that into the eyes of the court by producing an appointment with Boots Chemist in the United Kingdom as a basis for his travel. The question I ask is, so what? Was the application made to the court test party? Was the Attorney General not represented through his deputy, who argued? Did he not see, or as you want to say, as usual? Was he slumbering? Was he asleep? The application was not in the dark. It was on notice, and he argued. He saw it. He did not even oppose the application, speaking. So how now does he turn around to say that we produce some kind of weak evidence to the court? whether the evidence was weak or strong. In the court upheld our argument and gave another, and that's the most important thing. So what is left to be done is compliance with the court order. I do not expect the attorney who is supposed to be the principal legal advisor to the government to be the one leading an effort to violate a court order. That is really unbecoming. I mean, that's the lowest any person can get to. And now the attorney general comes to say that the basis on which the court gave the order itself was weak in the view of the attorney general. Did he not argue? Once the order has been given, pursuant to arguments by both counsel, it becomes a valid court order. If indeed the attorney general is aggrieved by the issue of the court order, he has to appeal, which he has not. So all this for me is just an attempt to prevent the gentleman unjustifiably from leaving the jurisdiction of Ghana, even though he has been granted a valid order of a court of competent jurisdiction. It's a charade. So clearly, I find it very contradictory. In one breath, they claim that they stopped him at the airport because he attempted to empty a frozen bank account. In another breath, they claim that they stopped him at the airport because the evidence had presented to the court to show why he had to travel was weak. That's a total contradiction. Well, I don't understand what is happening in this country. You perhaps have to find out from the attorney general whether there is evidence of an attempt to withdraw. And I think it is important for me to find from the media. Have you seen evidence of any check or withdrawal note signed by Hanan and produced before a court? Yes. Is it Samuel Attah-Mensah?
Samuel Attah-Mensah.
I'm asking you. Yes, I'm asking you. Have you seen evidence of any check that attorney general has put out in the media, the application that he has filed? Have you seen any check signed by Hanan seeking to withdraw money from any account?
Governor, I ask the questions.
Oh, yes. I mean, but clearly, and these are legitimate issues that ought to be raised. And so clearly, so what I construe from all of this is that it is just a belated false rationalization, belated after the fact false excuse to justify what they did unlawfully. The gentleman is being held in the Yoko custody. First it was BNI, he was held in the BNI cells for about 2 or 3 nights, and now he's been transferred to Yoko. He's not been put before any court of law. There has not been any charge against him. All the allegations being made, violation of or attempt to breach a freezing order. There has never been any charge against him. Have you seen any charge? There has not been any charge filed against him, and he's just being held unlawfully.
Governor, your statements seem to go very hard on the Attorney General, and it portrays him as someone who is peddling untruth about your client. Is that a picture?
No, I have not gone hard on him. If indeed there's any person who has gone hard on anybody, it is the Attorney General who held a press conference to malign my client and all, and still continues to release press statements tarnishing his image. You remember that the genesis of all this matter was when the Attorney General held a press conference subjecting our clients to ridicule in the eyes of the whole world, disparaging him as one who has stolen money and what have you, even before he had filed the charge sheet. And he continues to do the same thing. He has come up with another press statement making all kinds of wild allegations against my client. How does producing a ruling of a court stating that there is no freezing order in place to a bank amounts to an attempt to force a withdrawal? The question you have to ask is that is there any valid freezing order in place at all? And if so, when was that freezing order given? There's none at all. The client, Hanan, has not signed any check whatsoever attempting to withdraw money. At the time he was arrested, did they see any money on him as having been withdrawn from that bank account? Have they disclosed to the public any money that he has withdrawn from the bank account? No, there's nothing. And all this, I think that I wonder why the Attorney General, with all respect, will waste enormous time and public resources in defending this false step. It is clearly an unlawful step that was backed on by the BNI, Yoku, and DG. And I think they just have to accept it as simple as that. Rather than this ex post facto rationalization and after the fact justification and saying that it's because of this and that. If indeed the gentleman has committed an offense, bring him before a court of law.
Godfrey,
he has not been brought before any court of law.
As a lawyer for Hanan, one of the ultimate aim is to get him his freedom. But you have said in your statement, which is the last paragraph, and I read, it says, if the Attorney General, Iyoko and BNI will not release our client in spite of the false charges against him, he has expressed his resolve to remain in custody until the court and the only institution he places his faith in upholds his fundamental human rights. We were told a few days ago that he was supposed to travel to the UK or somewhere for medical checkup. But if he says he will still remain in custody, what happens to his medical checkup?
You should ask me. I mean, am I the one with all respect that you should ask? I think that you should ask the Attorney General, because they have his passport. They have seized his passport from him. He's been arrested, or his passport and the traveling documents have been taken from him. So that's a question that I think you ought to pose to the Attorney General. And apart from that, it is important to state that this practice of banding people up and throwing them in custody and all that without any basis at all must stop in this country. It's been going on for so long. Hanan has been in custody for a period of over 40 days, in fact close to 50 days in all, since the Attorney General had his press conference. After the press conference, he was arrested and put in BNI custody for over 3 weeks. Eventually released bail on some outrageous, unreasonable terms, and again thrown back into custody because he couldn't satisfy the bail terms. And then later on, when the withdrawal of the prosecution was made, he was again arrested and put back in Iyoko custody. And then we went to court seeking an order for leave for him to seek medical care out to the country. Both parties argued, the Republic through the Deputy Attorney General argued, and the application was given. They still found a way of subverting the order by arresting him at the airport and putting him in custody. So what is it? Is this something that they seek from him that he's not giving to them? I wonder. Is it that they are making some demands of him that he's not giving to them? I wonder. Or maybe there's something personal between Raymond Attah, Iyoko director, and him. What is it? So my client, I hold his instructions. I act on it according to his instructions, and he says that he's tired. And indeed, he is not in a position to fulfill the conditions imposed by Iyoko. And they ought to release him because he has not committed any offense at all. What is the basis for imposing?
If he says he's not in a condition...
No, the question I'm asking is, what is the basis for imposing bail in the sum of 5 million Ghanaian with 2 sureties to be justified? An offense that they claim he did not succeed in committing.
Is it that he's unable to...
He's unable to satisfy the terms.
Is it that he's unable to satisfy it?
Yes, absolutely, he's unable to satisfy the terms, and he insists that the right thing must be done. He insists that Iyoko, Attorney General, and the BNI will have to release him. Otherwise, he places his faith in the courts of Ghana. He places his faith in the courts of justice to ensure that the proper thing is done. And
how soon are you going to the court?
Well, the ways of justice that they say, well, I think the matter has actually been faced for Friday. Yes, first of all, the matter has been faced for Friday, and the Attorney General's application has also been faced for next week. So we hold the client's instructions to pursue justice through the courts of Ghana. Otherwise, Iyoko, whatever they want to do, they can do to him. Indeed, that is what the client has said. He is tired. He's always been going back and forth. Is there anything personal between the two of them that he is seeking to ventilate, or what? Or is there any demand that he's not willing to comply with?
But
he cannot satisfy the conditions. It's up to them.
Your client is supposed to go for medical checkup, and even though he has told you that he still wants to remain in custody because he's tired, as you mentioned, and he's supposed to go for medical, condition. As his lawyer, can't you advise him on what you can do? You
cannot satisfy the bail term. You cannot satisfy the bail condition. Yeah, I mean, what is the basis for? So the Constitution of Ghana, Article 14, stipulates clearly if a person is arrested, he ought to be brought before court within 48 hours. Otherwise, he must be released. It is not for Iyoko to impose any outrageous condition. So they say, well, paying the sum of 100 million Ghanaian to be justified. And they a court of law to be demanding justification of 100 million cedis and 50 million and whatever. Yes, if the president says he doesn't have that amount of money, it means he's going to be in Iyoko forever. That cannot be right. And I think they are clearly misapplying the law. They are not respecting the Constitution of Ghana. They have to grant bail to the person within 48 hours. So in our view, his continued detention by the local BNI and the Attorney is wrong. And I'm surprised that the Attorney, who is supposed to be the principal law enforcement officer of the nation, is doing this. He's the one holding him. He's the one who issued a press statement on Saturday night, a Facebook post on Saturday night, defending the arrest and saying he was going to go to court. He's the one who issued a press statement yesterday saying he has gone to court, but indeed he has not gone to court. Only for him to now rush to the court the following day. What is this?
Godfrey,
right?
You've been an attorney general before, the principal legal advisor to the government. Are you surprised at all that's happening in the office that you left behind not too long ago?
I'm totally surprised and appalled, because I can beat my chest without any sort of contradiction and say that nothing like that occurred. One time we went to a shop in London, and the owner of the shop said, "Oh, do I know Dr. Steven? I know Dr. Steven. I don't know Dr. Steven." And then he brought the person's card. It was opening at the shop. He was traveling in and out of Ghana when he was being prosecuted. The same held for other accused persons after forcing Dr. Dufo, Sedu Agungu, you name them, many others. All of them were freely attaching their right to freedom of movement. And now power changes hands, and we seem to find a new set of laws for new people. It cannot be. This is total unfairness.
Well, I remember the last time I spoke to you, Godfrey, on this same issue. A very good friend of yours, Martin Pebu, who was lawyer for Agojo, the former police officer, he also raised a similar thing that happened during your tenure. That
it is not true. It is not true. The fact that it is not true. And please, who was from traveling at the court? It cannot be true. Agojo was present at the court. I mean, at the airport. No. So the proper practice is for an accused person to apply to the court for an order permitting him to travel. If that order succeeds, or if that application succeeds and the order is granted, the order must be respected. So I remember Kwabena Dubois even made an application, a similar application to travel. He was denied. Nothing like that. Yes, he was denied. Simple as that. So if a person makes an application to the court, the application is denied. That's it. But if the application succeeds, the application is granted by the court order must be respected. It is only place to the Attorney General to be subverting a court order by arresting the person at the airport. Did you hear of an instance in my tenure as Attorney General when I issued an instruction or an order to any law enforcement agency, BNI, OSP, Yuku, or even the police, for a person to be stopped at the airport? Never at all. Never. It will not even happen. It will not even occur to me to do that.
Prophet, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Yeboah Dame, he's a former Attorney General, Minister of Justice and Counsel for former CEO of the Buffer Stock Company, Hanan Abdul Wahab. This is Eyewitness News coming to you live from our studios here in Accra. You can join the conversation. Send your WhatsApp messages to the number 0539 986 996 0539 986 996, and that's the talkback segment where we bring you the views and opinions you express on the stories we bring you tonight on Eyewitness News. So send your WhatsApp message. The number 0539 986 996 0539 986 996. Let's go to the camp of the New Patriotic Party, the NPP, because the party says on the 19th of September this year, it will elect new national officers who run the affairs of the party for the next 4 years. The party, in a statement today and signed by the General Secretary of the party, says the New Patriotic Party has fixed Saturday, September 19th, 2026 as the date for its National Delegate Conference, at which delegates will, among other things or other matters, elect national officers of the party pursuant to Article 10(1) of the party's constitution. The decision was taken by the National Executive Committee and subsequently approved by the National Council of their respective meetings held on Thursday, June 25, 2026. Fred Tete Jabano is here with me to give us details of this statement. Fred, what more is the statement saying?
So the statement is also saying that they are asking for proposals for amendments to be submitted to the office of the General Secretary of the party ahead of this particular Congress you're going to do. So people who still believe that there are certain aspects of the Constitution which needs to be amended will need to send their proposals. Don't forget that the party somewhere at the last year went to the Legon Stadium where they went to do, that was a national conference where they went to hold and amend certain aspects of their constitution. After this particular amendment, there have been some concerns about some of the amendments which took place at the national conference last year. And one of them is the amendments which made the national chairman of the party the leader of the party. Now, there are people within the party who believe that that particular amendment should be amended again, where you now have the flag bearer of the party being the leader of the party once they are in opposition and there's a flag bearer who has been elected. If they are in power, the president remains the leader of the party. But then in opposition, once a flag bearer is elected, the flag bearer then becomes the leader of the party. In the circumstance or in the event where the party loses, the national chairman becomes the leader until a flag bearer is elected. So now that's the amendment which has been people want to propose, and it's been there's been a lot of discussions within the party, people who agree and people who disagree. For people who agree to this, they believe that the flag bearer should be given the power to be able to take certain decisions and to be able to lead the party in a direction he wants and believes the party should go for him or her to win the national election. So in this case, we have the flag bearer being His Excellency for the former Vice President, Dr. Bawumia. So there's a belief that allow Dr. Bawumia to lead the party, to run the party, to help him and the party in itself win political power in the 2028 elections. There's the other group of people who also say, no, you cannot always amend your constitution to suit a particular person. So they disagree with the amendment of the flag bearer becoming the leader. They say that the party remains the party, where the leader of the party should be the chairman. And once the leader of the party is the chairman, any decision taken, including that which would affect the party, would come from the chairman. The flag bearer can always have his views heard and his views implemented if the party agrees. The party is bigger than the flag bearer. That's what they say. And the chairman, who is the chairman of the party, should be made the leader. So these are some of the amendments which people intend to introduce or submit to the party's national executive ahead of the September elections.
And the party has given persons who wish to submit or bring these proposals the 17th of July as deadline for anyone who is wishing or is seeking to get the MPP's constitution amendment in that area, as Fred has mentioned. So if you're a member of the MPP and you want the constitution of the party to be amended, you are obliged to do so latest by Friday, the 17th of July 2026. And the party has also provided an email address where, if you can't present it in person to the party headquarters, there's an email address where you can also send your proposals in there for this amendment to be done. The party says on the 19th of September this year, in the Ashanti region, they will elect new national officers who run the affairs of the party for the next 4 years, including proposed amendments to the party's constitution, which guides the MPP. This is Eyewitness News coming to you live from our studios here in Accra. Ejubi is here with the latest updates in news.
A justice of the Supreme Court, Emmanuel Yoni Kulendi, has accused some lawyers of abusing Ghana's appeals process. Speaking on the City Breakfast Show, Justice Kulendi said some lawyers repeatedly initiate fresh legal processes after cases have been determined. According to Justice Kulendi, the abuse of the appeals process is one of the reasons Ghana should reconsider the range of cases that are allowed to reach the Supreme Court.
The delays there are a variety of reasons for the delays. Other than that, the judge is either incompetent or the judge is corrupt. And there's another myth that, the Supreme Court, people think that the Supreme Court, because of what I have said about the Supreme Court being the ultimate referee, can intervene or adjudicate every conceivable matter. The Supreme Court itself is governed by the Constitution and can only do such things as are warranted and permitted by the Constitution and in relation to which is vested with jurisdiction.
Right.
So the idea that every conceivable grievance, something you are not happy with, the Supreme Court can do that. It's a myth.
Justice Kulendi also urged Ghanaians to stop offering bribes to judges, stressing that public participation is essential to tackling corruption within the judiciary.
I'm not one of those who will say that there are no corrupt judges, there are no corrupt judicial officers. Then they must have reigned from some other planet and they are not Ghanaians. Okay, so the judges are just a cross section of Ghanaians. And so to the extent that our society it has corrupt people, some of them have filtered into the judiciary. The judiciary presents a very predatory and opportunistic avenue for somebody who is already disposed to corruption to manifest that outrageous disposition fully. So it is there. But there are also very honest, dedicated men and women of integrity who are committed to doing their work, and they do it with everything in them. So we all recalled what happened with the number 12, and then and again I say judges don't talk, but day in day out people are being flushed out of the system. But again, there are considerations of due process, right? And anybody who is a judge who was first a lawyer, then they become a judge. So when dealing with them, you can't be arbitrary and you cannot compromise due process. But there's a lot going on, from training on ethics to constant reminders.
Justice Yoni Kulendi is a justice of the Supreme Court. Now, the Minister for Roads and Highways, Kwame Gavin-Sakboja, has called on the Ghana Highways Authority and other agencies under the ministry to strengthen supervision of road projects to ensure contractors deliver quality work. He said weak supervision contributed to the substandard work carried out by the previous contractor and urged engineers to closely monitor ongoing projects to ensure compliance with approved standards and timelines. Speaking during an inspection of repair works on the Esikuma Junction Road, the minister expressed concern over the slow pace of work and the poor quality of sections previously executed on the Eastern Corridor Road.
We have here the Chief Executive of Highways. From kilometer 1 to 28 or 25 you're talking about, from Esikuma Junction. That was done before First Car came in. The truth is that that was one of the worst quality of work ever done. I wish the contractor was not paid yet, so that when we see the certificate, we just throw it away. Because currently, you notice when you are from Esikuma Junction, before First Car took over, you will wonder whether the work has been completed or not. That is why you've never seen a line marking on it. But we paid millions of monies on it. Now we are being advised that we need to go and pulverize and do almost redo it again, which is going to be extremely expensive. I'm saying this so that myself and the agencies under me should know that when we are supervising work, we should take the maximum step to make sure that we do the right thing. If the contractor is not doing the right thing, why do we keep quiet?
You heard Minister for Roads and Highways Kwame Attah-Mensah. Moving on, calm has returned to Sefi, Sayerano in the Western North region after 2 people were reportedly killed and 2 others injured during a confrontation between police officers and residents. The incident occurred when officers from the Sefi Rioso Divisional Police Command reportedly entered the community to arrest a suspected drug peddler, triggering the confrontation. Speaking to Citi News, the Western North Regional Police Commander Dr. Francis Chidi said engagements with local authorities are ongoing to help maintain calm in the area.
Let's receive a delegation of chiefs from the USO Traditional Council, right, on the instructions of the Jasi Hini to come and have a discussion with me regarding the occurrence yesterday. So I have just done a briefing to them, and we agreed that we'll be having a further engagement with the community on Friday. So the situation, talking about law and order, the place is calm, and the citizens are also good. They are going about their normal duties, except that we'll still have to keep with the engagement, as I mentioned earlier.
That was Regional Police Commander for Western North, Dr. Francis Chidi.
This is Eyewitness News coming to you live from our studios here in Accra. You can join the conversation with your WhatsApp message. The number to send to 0539 986 996 0539 986 996. Send us your messages and we'll read them out to you during the talkback segment of Eyewitness News. Let's go to Parliament now, because the minority in that house are raising issues in respect of the 350 million Ghana cedis allocated for flood victims during the June 29th flood disaster. Is where the president directed that this amount of money be released to more or less help the flood victims who were affected in this. The minority believe that the minority is questioning the source of this amount of money, where it came from, because according to them, it was not supposed to come from the contingency fund as proposed by the president. In a short, I will speak to members of the minority on this, but let's speak to a member of the Finance Committee of Parliament, NDC member of Parliament for the Sanagu constituency, Attah Issa, who believes that the minority are getting it wrong. Attah, thank you very much for your time. Your colleagues in the minority are questioning the source of the 350 million cedis the government is allocating to the flag victim, but you believe that the minority is getting it wrong. Exactly what do you mean?
Good evening to you and to your listeners. I think that let me first of all commiserate with the affected families of the disasterly flood that affected many lives and households. So these are hard times for us as a republic. So I think that the minority is entitled to seek clarifications from government. And Parliament has the right to demand full disclosure regarding the 350 million. However, it is important to acknowledge that it is inaccurate and, for me, in my opinion, premature to conclude that the Constitution or the Act 921, that's the Public Financial Management Act, has been violated solely because on the basis of the assumption regarding the source of funding. The President was very clear that we are using the contingency fund to deal with the issues of flood. So for you to say that we have breached the Constitution or we have breached the Public Financial Management Act, I think that is inaccurate. And as a member of Parliament and also the Finance Committee member of Parliament, look, the Minister of Finance approached the Finance Committee with the request for the release of the 350 million Ghana cedis. Our responsibility was to establish, first of all, the facts through our oversight responsibility. And then we granted the Minister of Finance hearing. This hearing included both the minority side of the committee and the majority side of the committee. And then we were given official financial records. So I don't think that these are speculative matters that the minority want to exploit. I feel like these days, every other matter, they want to raise it in the media. And I don't think that is the way forward, because we were given appropriate briefing by the Ministry of Finance. In fact, on that day, the Finance Minister was also involved, and then minority and the majority side of the committee were given the proper briefing. Questions were asked before we give the approval. Now, if you look at the law that established the contingency fund, when you are doing disbursement out of the contingency fund, it's the power of the Finance Committee to give that waiver to the Ministry of Finance to enable them spend it on unforeseen circumstances. And I think that what happened on June 29th was unexpected circumstance, and that necessitated urgent, we'll call it force majeure, that necessitated us to use that contingency fund to deal with that. So let me say, Sami, the NDC government will still remain committed to transparency, constitutional governance, and prudent public financial management act. So if clarification is required, I think the Minister for Finance can appear before Parliament of Ghana to provide a comprehensive explanation, thereby assuring both Parliament and the Ghanaian people that every CD out of the 315 million is actually spent on flood relief that has been handled lawfully. Okay. So for me, that's what I will say on it.
Okay, Attah, just hold on. Let me speak to Jerry Ahmed Shaib. He's a member of Parliament for the Wejagbawe constituency and Deputy Minority Chief Whip. Jerry, your caucus believe that this amount of money is supposed to come from somewhere it's not supposed to be sought from. Why are you questioning the source of the 350 million government is allocating to the flood victims?
I mean, it's money from the people are approve of it.
Come again, Jerry.
Assuming it was money received from the sale of drugs, we not want to ask where the money is coming from without representatives of the people.
Yes,
you come and make a particular request. Our view is that that request that has been acceded to, we should follow through with that request. First of all, we all are members of Parliament, and we raised this issue on the floor, asking that approval be sought in unity. It wasn't a matter that was for political jokes or for political purposes. Our people are places, and I've enumerated all the problems we are confronted with on this same radio and TV stations, and I've said that I've had to deal with this devastation. And so today's press conference was to the effect that, first of all, we came, Government of Ghana, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Justice and Attorney General came to get parliamentary approval for a certain amount of money, which is 350 million cedis. The 350 million cedis was approved by both sides of the House. After the approval, we have come to know that it wasn't the money that was approved that has now been released. So are we not supposed to question where the money came from? One, we approved for the contingency account, for the release to come from the contingency account. The money is not coming from the contingency account because we know the issues that came up after the approval. We have come to realize that monies that we approved did not come from the contingency fund because there was a Ghanaian attachment. There is still a Ghanaian proceedings that we are aware of. So how did these people go ahead to get some release of money? That is one. Two, Bank of Ghana held a board meeting and proceeded with the board decision that we would not be ready or willing to release any amount of money from the contingency account because there is a pending legal matter. Three, we're also asking the very germane question: who are going to be the beneficiaries of this money? Because I am the member of Parliament for a constituency, the good people of Wejagbawe. Nobody has spoken to me, nobody has spoken with me. I have gone around to meet my people. The figures they are banditing around is not reflective. So who are going to receive these monies? How are we going to distribute these monies? And when are we going to distribute this money? These are the germane issues we are asking.
But Jerry, doesn't matter where the money is coming from when there's an emergency. Almost 38,000 people are affected, and government is stepping in to help with the situation, including your constituency, as you have mentioned. Does it really matter where the money is coming from? Hello, Jerry. Jerry Ahmed. Hello.
Hello.
I'm afraid Jerry's line has dropped. We'll try and raise him again on the telephone line, because there are quite a number of questions we need to post to him. The minority held a press conference today, questioning the source of the 350 million Ghana cedis government has allocated for flood victims. The minority believes that the money was not supposed to come from the contingency fund because there's some legal issues Ghana proceeding against that fund, and the Attorney General should have taken legal steps to set aside that order. Okay, I'm told Jerry is back on that. Jerry, I was asking you before the line dropped that does it really matter where the money is coming from when there's an emergency? Hello, Jerry. Telephone line. What's our best? I can hear you. Is it better? Jerry, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so I'm asking that, does it really matter where the money is coming from when there's an emergency? There's an emergency to address something very, very important.
I think as journalists, really, seriously, we should proceed the questions in a manner that is proper. We shouldn't come and ask whether or not it is proper or improper. Our press conference today was to the effect that an amount of money, 350 million cedis, that money was supposed to come from the contingency account. And we also have constituents who are suffering from this flood, and they are victims as well. So let us ask the right questions. First of all, did we clear the money from the contingency account that Parliament approved? No. And if we got the money, where did we get the money from? Yes, we are representatives of the people. Don't we have to know where the monies are coming from? And yes, we proceeded to ask, who are the recipients of this money? Who are the beneficiaries of this money? When were these monies disbursed? These were the germane questions. So we shouldn't people who are always coming up with a certain settings, a certain agenda that, why?
Hello, Jerry. I'm afraid we have to end this conversation here with Jerry Ahmed-Shine, Member of Parliament for the Wijagbawe constituency and a Deputy Minority Whip. Let's go back to Attah-Mensah, a Member of the Finance Committee and Member of Parliament for the Sanugu constituency in the North region. Attah, your colleague on the other side is questioning the source of it. Is the money coming from the contingency fund or is coming from somewhere else? You are a member of the Finance Committee. You can give us better perspective on this. Where is the money coming from?
So, like I said earlier, the money was approved by Parliament of Ghana, by both sides of the House, for the Ministry of Finance to use the contingency fund, and so has been done. But let me provide this information, I beg you. You see, I earlier on stated that my issue is not to seek clarification from the government. My issue is always running to the media to do politics with every national issue.
So you believe they are doing politics with this?
Exactly. And I'll give you the parliamentary tools that is available for the minority that they could have used to seek clarification from the Ministry of Finance. Number one, he is now talking about the beneficiaries of those funds. So the concern is not even about the source. His concern mostly has to do with the beneficiaries. And I'm saying that there are tools available for them as a minority group to always use parliamentary tools to seek for answers. They could have filed an urgent question to the Minister of Finance. They could have filed an urgent question. Now, thousands of Ghanaians have lost their homes. Let's note that. Livelihoods of people have been destroyed because of the flood. The immediate priority of every Ghanaian and also every responsible government should be about the relief packages for the citizens, whilst at the same time ensuring accountability and transparency. So despite the impact of the flood, government still thought that we needed to do it transparently. That is why they approached Parliament of Ghana through the Finance Committee to seek for a waiver to utilize the contingency fund. So the debate should, for me, be focused on improving financial accountability. I agree, but we shouldn't delay the assistance that is meant for the vulnerable citizens. That is also very important. Now, my brother is raising the issue of a Ghana accounts. Let people get this debate clearly. Government of Ghana financial management, it involves several treasury operations. They don't use one account. So if there's a Ghana on one account, it doesn't mean government cannot use a contingency fund for multiple accounts. So all transactions that was approved by Parliament was subject to the Constitution and the Public Financial Management Act. So what the Minister of Finance did, they established mechanisms for cash management. And that's why, if you remember, there was this challenge between Minister of Finance and the Agric Ministry. So issues of cash management, their way of liquidity management and financing government obligations are not the preserve of Parliament. Parliament gave an approval for them to utilize the contingency fund. We don't deal with their cash management situations. So if any measure has been used by the Ministry of Finance in pursuant to the order given to him by Parliament of Ghana, I don't think we should say it constitutes any illegality. The most important thing is that Ghanaians were affected and government is doing everything possible to mitigate the impact that it has. Now, the minority finally edges on something that I think we shouldn't even condone, and I think the whip couldn't demonstrate it properly. They allege that the Act 921 was violated in broad daylight. Let me sound this very caution. Look, this is a very serious accusation, and I think that they must be guided any time that some of these things come up, the way they communicate. Act 921 criminalizes unauthorized withdrawals, but in our situation, such withdrawal was authorized by Parliament of Ghana. So it is not enough to just throw out allegations and smear public officials' names. We must always demonstrate fidelity to the truth. So none of all the minority raised this afternoon was based on facts. It was based on speculation. It was partisan and a premature accusation to public officials for criminal misconduct. I don't think that is what we need at this time. Currently, the $350 million Ghana cedis has is ongoing through procurement. Also, even in a period of force majeure, you must still go through the procurement processes. So as for the beneficiaries, we have already at the Finance Committee demanded the Minister of Finance to ensure that every money that has been spent out of the 300 million should come back to Parliament and ask to review the beneficiaries. So I think this is a right call by the minority on that angle. But any other thing that seeks to raise criminality, that seeks to raise illegality, that seeks to politicize the matter, I think that Ghanaians should reject it with the contempt it deserves.
So for you believe that the cause or the call by the minority that we should know the individuals and the people and the members of Parliament who are affected, whose constituency are affected, is right. But then don't you think by now we should be given, some list of persons or some areas that are going to benefit from it, and they're the members of Parliament who will be also affected in terms of their constituency? They should be in the know by now.
No, so you see, I don't think that the right authority to deal with the matter is members of Parliament.
But they represent the people. At least they should know.
Yes, I agree, and I'm saying that we at the committee level instructed the Ministry of Finance that after the disbursement of the 350 million Ghana cedis, they have to return back to the House with the full list of beneficiaries of such facility. Currently, there are ongoing procurements of items to be given to those affected families. The assemblies and the regional coordinating councils of the affected regions have been tasked to collate lists of affected persons and communities.
Without the involvement of the members of parliament? Without the involvement of the
members of parliament are not in this right scheme the necessary stakeholders to deal with. It is the local assemblies. And the members of parliament are ex-official members of the assembly. So if Honorable Jerry Ahmed wants to know, he can easily contact his MCE to get those information. Unless, of course, you are expecting that the government of Ghana should pick phone and call each and every member of parliament. They went through the assemblies. So he is an ex-official member of the Wager Assembly. And I'm saying that he can easily reach out to his MCE to know the progress of work on that. And many other assemblies are currently collating lists of affected persons who stand to benefit out of this relief package. So bringing it out onto the media to sensationalize it and play on the emotional keyboards of people, I don't think that is the way forward for me. And I think that the only call I support the minority this afternoon was the fact that every beneficiary that will receive this package must be made known to Ghanaians. Because if national emergencies of this nature, it had public condemnation, and government must demonstrate sensitivity to the plight of the people. So if people benefit out of that, government should make it known to the Ghanaian public so that they will know the effort the government of Ghana has done to mitigate the impact of the devastating flood.
Attah-Mensah, thank you very much for your time. Member of Parliament for the Sanugu constituency and a member of the Finance Committee of Parliament. This is Eyewitness News coming to you live from our studios here in Accra. We'll go for a quick break. When we come back, we have more stories.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens. These days, some mattresses are being made from all kinds of unsafe materials that are not fit for sleeping surfaces. These materials may be cheap, but they can be harmful to your health. If you haven't slept well, you cannot work and think well, and you are ultimately putting your health at risk, which can cause you a lifetime discomfort and chronic pain. As responsible citizens, we should invest in safe, durable, and certified mattresses. Latex Foam remains the tried and tested brand we all love for almost 60 years now. They offer you unmatched quality and durability for every Ghanaian home. Talk to them on 0302-231-155 in Accra and 03220-29365 in Kumasi for all your inquiries, or walk into any of their outlets nationwide for your preferred choices. Do not settle for less. Go for quality, but Latex Foam, or else you don't do yourself. Latex Foam, your partner for life.
You know that feeling when you're getting ready for work. Your shirt is still crumpled and the iron is just starting to warm up. Or you're late for the wedding and now about to blow dry your hair. Or you have just stocked up meat for the cold store and then suddenly, oh! Light off. Life just keeps getting paused. But what if your roof, yes, your roof, could keep things running in your homes and businesses? With EcoBank ASAP, you can switch to solar now by getting a loan to buy solar power systems with no upfront cost and easy repayment. Power your life through EcoBank's vetted solar vendors and lower your power bills over time.
Take back your power with EcoBank ASAP. EcoBank, the Pan-African bank.
Eno, you know what our father left us when he died?
Debts?
He left us land, Eno. But Nanayo said the land is his. The court said, come back in 2031.
Hey, that's not an inheritance. That's a curse, brother.
Real Ejapade doesn't come with disputes. At Deftraco Woodlands, a 592-acre master plan gated city in Dawenya, your inheritance is waiting. Don't leave your children a court case. Leave them Deftraco Woodlands. The Ejapade they'll be proud of. Visit woodlands.deftracogroup.com. Call or WhatsApp us today on 0208-732-302.
Kofi, I think we need to call them.
Deftraco Woodlands, where your roots run deep.
Hello, good afternoon. I am calling from your bank. We are currently experiencing a system downtime, so we need to secure your account. Please, can you confirm your account number and your login details so we can restore access immediately? Yes, your username and password, just to verify.
Beware of fraudsters. Your bank will never ask for your login details, PIN or password over the phone. Shine your eye. Spot the fraud. Stop the fraud. This message is brought to you by the Ghana Association of Banks.
If you spot the fraud, you will fit to stop the fraud. Make you know they lose God.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Welcome back. This is Eyewitness News coming to you live from our studios here in Accra. Now, the Ghana Aids Commission is unhappy with the Ministry of Interior because yesterday the Minister of Interior made some statements in respect of some 1,300 applicants in the recently ended security service recruitment tested positive for HIV/AIDS. The Ghana AIDS Commission believes that the minister should have handled this matter in a better way. They issued a statement just before we came on air and read portions of the statement to you because they say the Ghana AIDS Commission, as the body responsible for providing leadership and coordination for Ghana's HIV/AIDS response, has taken note of media report regarding comments made on HIV test results during the recent security service recruitment exercise. The commission considered it important to provide clarification on HIV testing protocols and public communications to ensure that discussions on HIV remains scientifically accurate, protect human rights, and support national efforts to eliminate stigma and discrimination. The Commission recognizes the importance of medical screening in the recruitment processes and appreciates the efforts of the security service to safeguard the health of their personnel. At the same time, the Commission wishes to provide important public health clarification to ensure that discussions on HIV/AIDS remain accurate, evidence-based, and respectful of the rights and dignity of all persons. First, the figure as stated by the minister, which is 1,300 reactive HIV test results out of about 100,000 applicants, represent approximately 1.3% of those screened. This is broadly consistent with Ghana's estimated national HIV prevalence of 1.43% among adults at the end of 2024. It says the reported figures should therefore not be interpreted as unusual or indicative of an emerging public health concern. Secondly, the Commission wishes to clarify that under national HIV testing guideline, a single reactive HIV test result does not constitute a confirmed HIV diagnosis. An initial reactive result is primarily and must be followed by the nationally approved 3-test serial testing before an individual's HIV status can be confirmed. It is therefore important that public communications accurately distinguishes between an initial reactive screening result and a confirmed HIV positive diagnosis. Now, the Commission further emphasizes that HIV testing should always be conducted in accordance with national guidelines, including informed consent, confidentiality, and appropriate counseling. Individuals with reactive screening results should receive professional counseling in such matters. And the Ghana AIDS Commission also reiterates that the Commission Acts, which is 2026 Acts 938, prohibit discrimination against persons living with HIV. And in this particular development, the Commission recognizes that public communication on HIV, if not carefully framed, may reinforce stigma and discourage individuals. Let's get some reaction on this from the spokesperson of the Ministry of Interior, Julius Anthony. Julius, good evening. Thank you very much for your time. It looks like the statement from your boss has, got people talking, including the Ghana AIDS Commission. Exactly what information was your boss putting across when he met members of the Government Assurances Committee of Parliament?
All right, thank you, and I'm grateful for the opportunity. I think that the concerns by the AIDS Commission and the concerns that have been raised by members of the public, I mean, the rationale behind it, their reasoning, is founded. But I also think that there is a misconception or a misunderstanding of what in particular the Honorable Interior Minister sought to communicate. And if we want to get a clearer understanding of what the minister's statement is, then we need to get what the question was to the minister and the response to say. The minister was asked about communication to applicants about the results of their medicals and reasons for disqualification, among other things. And in his response, the minister said that they did not think it wise to just mail or send the results of the medicals to the applicant. Because imagine a situation where you are just there and a report comes to you which indicates that you have tested positive for one ailment or the other without the needed, preparation in terms of counseling and all of that, which comes with the release of such results to individuals. You would attest to the fact that if people undergo some of these ailments, tests for these ailments, they are prepared psychologically and all by the experts for the results and the outcomes that may come from those results. And without such preparation, if you release results to people that way, the minister thought that it was improper to do so, which he did communicate. That imagine you were there and then a medical report comes to you and says that you have tested positive for HIV without any mental preparation, without, any prior communication that is supposed to psych you up for that sort of communication. And then he went on to mention that the findings indicate that there is a little over 1,300 individuals out of the 100,000 that partook in the medical screening process who tested positive. Then immediately that has been twisted one way or the other, or perhaps misunderstood, because I would not want to associate to malice what perhaps may be a mere misunderstanding on the part of some people. So immediately that has been taken to mean that those 1,300 people were disqualified on basis of the results indicating that they have tested positive. No, the minister has at no point said that formed a basis for disqualification. There are standard metrics within these security services in terms of fitness and all that are checked before people are admitted into the service.
But Julius, if such a statement is made that 1,300 people have tested positive to HIV, everybody will conclude that it's because of their status. That is why they may not get the opportunity to serve in the country's security agency. Everybody will conclude
that would be the case if the query to the minister was whether or not you disqualified people on basis of ailment A, B, C. The query to the minister was a matter of communication to applicants, specifically their status on the process and all of that, including sending medical results to them. And the minister was emphatic that people's minds need to be prepared for certain kinds of communication, especially the ones that have to do with their health status and information that was discovered in the process of the screening. Because for a lot of people, these are not matters that were known to them. People sometimes don't know their status, and this process reveals them. And the minister was saying that the needed mental preparation needs to be done.
So if in response to that, a conclusion is drawn that if a minister says people are not mentally prepared for results to just be simply sent to them, that the idea is that a number will be attached so that they call the number, and because those numbers that will be attached are the very people that conducted the screening exercises. They know the peculiar situations based on the rules of confidentiality that guide them of every single individual, and so they would, in the peculiar nature of every individual, send the results to them upon request. And where there is the need for such mental preparation, it is done before those results are sent to them. That was the nature of the minister's response. And so if a conclusion is drawn from that to suggest that it means that people were automatically disqualified on grounds of the findings of ailment ABC, I think that it is an unfortunate framing of what transpired before the committee. And as I said, I can understand if there is a genuine misunderstanding in the public. I wouldn't want to associate to malice what could be genuine misunderstanding, but the clarity must be made that there has been at no point in time where the minister said that people were disqualified on basis of their health status, particularly HIV positivity status. There has been no point in time where the minister has said that, and there is no such criteria.
Thank you for that clarification. But then the result, as you mentioned, have you sent this result to the individuals who tested positive, those who are affected by this, or you are still keeping?
No, that is not the modus operandi. So I think by tomorrow, applicants should receive notice, especially those who would be going in the first batch, and then subsequently about particular issues about medical results and all of those things. There will be clarity as to how they are supposed to receive their results individually. The reason is because the ministry does not want to use one platform where results of multiple individuals are uploaded, and it increases the risk of confidentiality being breached. And so the contact of the various service providers that undertook the screening would be made available to applicants individually, with a means of them assessing their results individually. That would follow the release of, the results, especially the first batch of people who will be going to training, which should happen from tomorrow going.
But the worry for many is that if these individuals are not informed early enough, they may be walking about thinking they are healthy, but they really have issues. And so many people will think that fast tracking the information to these people will be timely and will be in their best interest.
You would agree with me that from tomorrow is early enough, wouldn't you?
I agree with you. Just hold on for me, Tony. Just hold on for me. Also joining us is John Ilyasu Mahama. He's the acting director of policy and planning at the Ghana AIDS Commission. Mr. Mahama, thank you very much. The Ghana AIDS Commission seems to have an issue with how this issue was communicated. What really is your issue, sir?
Thank you very much, and good evening to your listeners. First, let me thank you for taking time to read our press release, which I think basically clarifies the concerns we have. And I think this discussion has further helped to deepen that discussion. Maybe focusing more on the issues around stigma and discrimination. There's a general concern when the information is put out the way it was. So, for instance, if someone was not recruited and is within this category, there are concerns that the people would already begin thinking, are they HIV positive? And in a high stigma environment like ours, the risk of the stigma is really then becomes very high. Even self-stigma can become very high, which is why the issue of consent is really very important. And the Ghana AIDS Commission's LI, our legislative instrument, actually makes consent mandatory. LI 2403. Before the people are even tested, they need to be informed that they are going to take the HIV test. And if they were given that prior information before these tests were done, then disclosure becomes easier, counseling and all that, and linkage to care. So I think it's important to put all of these in context. Of course, we don't have the full information, but as the Ministry of Interior is coming out with more details on this, it is our understanding, therefore, that some people living with HIV would have been recruited. I don't know if that is the understanding I'm getting, because what the Ghana AIDS Commission Act prohibits, basically it prohibits the blanket denial of people recruitment into any form of employment on the sole basis of their HIV status. And the Act actually provides that it should be based on the person's medical fitness to do that particular work. So we understand that the security agencies may require more intensive form of work. And so the true test really should be whether the people meet the medical fitness, not just HIV, because HIV we've come a long way. We have medication in the system. We don't have a cure, we don't have a vaccine, but we do have treatment that people can take and they will be healthy and work like any other person. And so if it is not communicated clearly in that way, there's a risk of perpetuating stigma, which we are already struggling with. Stigma remains one of the biggest obstacles to people uptaking HIV services. And as we sit in the country, HIV testing rates are very low, especially among the male population. So even if you'd allow, I'll use this opportunity to just appeal to a lot of the general Ghanaian population. People need to test to know their HIV status. There's treatment out there if someone is tested HIV positive, if they go through the trade course. Hello?
John, I'm listening to you.
I think okay. Yes. Once they go through the trade test algorithm and they are confirmed to be HIV positive, they will be immediately linked to treatment. So these are opportunities that exist. And for those who have not gone for their results yet, as the Interior Ministry is calling that from tomorrow they'll be able to do so, we will encourage them. If they haven't completed the trade test HIV, algorithm, they need to complete that process because there is treatment out there. It is freely available. It is decentralized across the country. So in almost every health facility, district hospitals, regional hospitals, you get HIV treatment. So thank you.
John, let me get a clarification. You say in such an exercise, the applicants are supposed to be informed that they are going to get tested for HIV.
Yeah. Yes, their consent is supposed to be sought before HIV test is done.
Okay, let me get that clarification also from Tony. Tony, did you inform the applicants that such a test is going to be run on them?
Of course, the applicants fill consent forms for all the tests that were undertaken. It's a standard medical practice. It is not even a matter for the Ministry of Interior to independently decide. It's a standard medical practice. The tests were undertaken by standard medical institutions and practitioners. And so they followed all these processes. And let me seize the opportunity to reiterate again. As you said, the security services have standard fitness criteria. I said earlier, and I want to emphasize again, that our standard fitness criteria does not include any provision that when persons test positive for HIV, they should be disqualified. There is no such thing. Whether or not someone will be disqualified or not, it's a function of meeting the standard fitness criteria of the security services, which singling out HIV as a basis does not exist in. And so the ministry takes, cognizance of the fact that stigma and all of these things exist, and there is no intention in any way, shape, or form to contribute to this stigma. And the conversation as they ensued at the assurances committee again must be taken within the context of what the questions were and what the minister responded to. The question was a function of how are these results being released, how are people being notified, and the response was that there is a need for people to be psyched up, which indeed the I would assume he's an expert on the matter, agrees with, that people need to be counseled and people need to be linked to treatment, which is why those results, as we said, are not going to be put on a single platform in any way where there will be any risk of anybody having access to anybody's confidential information. The applicants will be individually linked to the various service providers to actually provide them with the results where they are part of the people who have been affected by any of the ailments which may be of concern. Then guidance and treatment would be the recommended and appropriate way to follow. So the ministry is committed to all of these things, and nobody is going to be disqualified, or nobody has been disqualified on the sole basis of testing positive for HIV.
John, let me come to you. In future, going forward, how do you think such issues should be communicated so it doesn't cause, the reaction that this particular statement from the minister is already causing? Because we are getting messages from people who went through this recruitment and they are really uncertain as to, where they are going. So in future, how do we communicate such, issues so we don't get people's reaction as we are getting now?
Well, thank you very much. I think this conversation, for example, has been very important in clarifying a number of the issues. So I think even for the ministry, this has given, the statement by Ghana East Commission has given the opportunity to clarify certain, to clarify the initial communication. But of course, as the PRO said, the information was put out within a certain context. And but now, looking at what was put out and comparing it with national prevalence, there should be no fear and panic. But more importantly, also the issues around stigma and discrimination. The individuals who went for the test were not told their results and so on. But then coming to hear that if you were not giving your results and among that category, it could be one of several reasons. And the repercussions of all of these. So I think if that communication was done and the feedback given to the persons who were tested, we are given assurance that the standard medical protocol was followed and issues of consent. I think one of the good things is there wasn't a case of breach of confidential information. What was put out were aggregate figures, which is good. Also, the minister mentioned that there will be a hotline that will be given, which is also good. But I think in addition to that would be putting all of that information in context. Within a high stigma environment, I think putting it in context is really important. And I think that's the dimension that we sought to add. And I think basically this is how we think going forward. Already we work closely with the Ministry of Interior. They are represented on a number of our technical working group, and we would want to engage further to ensure that there's proper coordination and data sharing in this area. Thank you.
Gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. John Iliasu Mahama, Acting Director of Policy and Planning at the Ghana East Commission, and Julius Anthony, Spokesperson, Ministry of Interior. Thank you very much, gentlemen. This is Eyewitness News coming to you live from our studios here in Accra. We'll go for a quick break. When we come back, we speak to Osei Mensah Bonsu, former majority leader, former minority leader, and former member of parliament for the Swame constituency, now chief of staff at the office of MPP presidential candidate Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Charlie, I'm nice. I get some serious meeting. Allah, motion. But Charlie, no credit today. Oh, but you relax. More day.
Hey, what funny.
Yes, so I borrow small, sort myself out, I pay back. We move. Spot there. Ah, Charlie, you sure see you they pay back? Yes, so that anytime somebody else they need them, more day. Be like I for can't borrow some more. Hey, you this boy. Don't go there and disgrace yourself. Allah, motion.
Responsible borrowing with a real Flexo for today's needs and tomorrow's dreams. Borrow, sort them, pay back. No more day. You know that feeling. A hospital bill that arrives out of nowhere A diagnosis you weren't prepared for. A system that seemed designed to confuse you and costs that keep climbing. And the stress of not knowing if you're protected. Eden isn't lost. Eden Care was created to give it back to you. Eden Care is health insurance made for everyday family life. With Eden Care, getting health care is easy and you are backed by a trusted insurance partner with years of experience. No confusing terms, just complete protection for your entire family. Step back into peace. Step into experience you can rely on. Reach out right now at 059-692-1844 and choose Eden Care today. Eden Care is brought to you by Acacia Health Insurance, a member of the Enterprise Group.
Welcome back.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Welcome back. This is Eyewitness News coming to you live from our studios here in Accra. The New Patriotic Party is in the news. The party says on the 19th of September this year, it is going to elect new national officers who run the affairs of the party for the next 4 years. The party also says it is going to amend portions of its constitution and asking people to bring proposals on aspects of the constitution the party intends to amend. Let's speak to someone who knows the party very well, has served as a member of parliament, has served as a majority leader, has served as a minority leader, has served as a minister, and now serving as chief of staff at the office of MPP presidential candidate Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. I'm talking about Osei Mensah Bonsu, former member of parliament for the Swame constituency. Leader, good evening. Thank you very much for your time. The New Patriotic Party, your party says on the 19th of September this year, it will go to the polls to elect officers who run the affairs of the party for the next 4 years. From where you sit and your observations so far within this internal
or put some other people in some different positions. So that is what the party is embarking on now. I think there have been many positives. The polling station elections that have been conducted and the electoral area, the polling station elections that have been conducted and the electoral area, committees that have now been put in place. I think they are going to the next stage is the constituency executive elections program for this weekend. And then from there, we'll engage in the selection of the regional executives, thereafter to the national executive elections. So that's where we are. And thus far, yes, a few hiccups. I think at the constituency, the population electoral area levels, I've seen that it's going on quite well. As I indicated, a few hiccups, but in any election, we expect to have some of these bumps. Other than that, I think thus far, though, it's not been bad. I think it's generally good.
The party is also announcing that it intends to amend portions of its constitution. The General Secretary in this press statement is asking individuals who have proposals to present it by Friday, the 17th of July, 2026. From where you sit and the things you've heard, what kind of amendment is the party talking about?
Oh, I think there are some amendments that came earlier, which unfortunately could not find space in the amendments that came on board the other time. There are some that deal specifically with the growth and development of the party. The national constitution provides that in Article 55+3 that a political party shall have the right to advertise its political, social, and economic programs to the populace, to the citizens. Now, the party's constitution provides in Article 6 that charge is on the polling station executives. And so, unfortunately, the provision is not very clear
as to the charge of the police station executives. It just provides that they shall embark on house-to-house campaigns with respect to what? And people are saying that let's link it up with the provisions contained in the National Constitution so that they will know that that is the prime charge of the police station executives. And then some are also saying that then we should provide for the police station executives. There should be some reporting mechanisms that when they do that, apart from marketing the party, they should also, in the house-of-house endeavors, also register party members who they will meet in the various houses, so that we know the strength of the party in the polling stations, electoral areas, and so on, and so the many folks. So I think that is two amendments that are coming in. Another matter that I've heard relates to, so the one that I spoke to relates to, developing the party at the grassroots. Not only the ideas that you have to sell, so getting to know your numbers at the polling stations. We've never had that really clearly spelled out in the Constitution. So it's something that is coming up. I've heard some people also relate to the position of the chairman, that since 1992, we have not really assigned the leadership, the leader of the party, to any particular person. People are saying that the last time around, when we did the constitutional amendment, that position was now given to the chairman. There may be some conflict because you and I do know. Let me just, 2 weeks ago, I think the Honorable the chairman of the NBC, at a program referred to His Excellency the President, John Dramani Mahama, as the leader of their party. I'm not sure that it's spelled out anywhere in the constitution of the NDC. He recognizes that he is a leader, de facto, if not de jure. That has been the position of the MPP as well, even though it is not clearly spelled out. We all do know that the presidential candidate at any material time is the leader of the party. If the person is able to win power for us and becomes the president, then more or less the deal is sealed that he is the recognized leader of the party. And indeed, and in truth, if you go to the constituencies, that is what obtains there. The chairman is the chairman of the party. But to the extent that everything revolves around the parliamentary candidate and the member of parliament, de facto, he is recognized as the leader of the party in the constituency. So at the national level, people are saying that if you confer the title of the chairman, it could create a conflict situation where, and we have done several elections. We have had situations where the person who emerges as the chairman may not have the person who wins eventually to become the leader or the presidential candidate of the party as his candidate. So if you have such a situation, it's a recipe for confusion and conflict in the party. And so either we leave it as it has been without naming anybody. But if you have to formalize it, the position, then to all intents and purposes, as is being canvassed by some people, they think that in that regard, if you have to formalize it, that it must be the presidential candidate. But there may also be some problems. If the presidential candidate is the leader, and he eventually becomes the president, as I've said, then the deal is sealed. He is the effective leader of the party, even though it is not by the jury, that is by law, but effectively he is the leader of the party. So he is the president, and then we have a certain president whose time is due, and we go to elections, primaries, to have a successor, somebody then becomes the presidential candidate. Who effectively then is the leader? Is it the president or the presidential candidate? So that also could bring along its own problems, especially where maybe the presidential candidate did not support the candidate of who eventually becomes the presidential candidate of the party. We will have a problem. So I think it is something that we may have to think through to see what to do. We leave it as it had been without naming whoever, but maybe the generality of the people recognize that the presidential candidate is effectively the leader of the party de facto. Do we leave it at that, or do we formalize it? I think the party will have a think through to see what is most appropriate.
Leader, forgive me for this and educate me if I'm wrong. When the party went to Legon just to amend portions of its constitution, didn't this particular provision or proposal come up? And didn't the conference there take a decision on it? Because what I know is that at that particular event, it was clearly stated that the chairman becomes the leader of the party, even if in opposition or in government, or there was no decision taken on that particular proposal during the Legon conference.
Thank you. Yes, you see, there were a multitude of amendments. A multitude of amendments came up. And I was there. I'm not too sure that I heard that, honestly. Even though I was there. I was saying we have been buried in the multitude of amendments that came up.
Leader, it was. I'm being told that it was part of the proposals.
I am saying that maybe in the laborings of so many, amendments that came up, sight was lost of it. Now, in the wisdom of the party, people have brought some amendments to that. It doesn't mean that those amendments have been carried, right? In the opinion of somebody or some people, they think that could, generate some comfort situation for the party. And so they are proposing amendment to that. For now, the status quo is that the chairman is the leader. So if those amendments hold, then it will be changed. If the amendments fail, then that status quo would hold. So that's the point I'm making. It's not a done deal. It's being discussed. So at the conference, call for that purpose. The final determination we made on that.
Leader, how do you react to people who say that just a few months ago you went to conference to amend portions of your constitution, including this particular provision, and then some few months down the line, there's another proposal for that particular aspect to be amended again? How do you react to people who say that is it not a way to scheme it to meet more or less the whims and caprices of somebody, of the new leader, of the new flag bearer, or of the new presidential candidate of the party? How do you react to people who make such comments?
This is a path that's not been charted before. It's a new proposal. And even at the national parliament. So first of all, let me conclude on that. So an amendment is tabled, is approved by council. Upon reclining, some people are saying that no, that could precipitate some crisis. We are in a human society. The majority may not always be right. It's the reason why maybe you go to an election and a person wins, but along the line, another election holds and the same person loses. So the majority, upon reclining, may come to some determination that, what we did wasn't right. Let's change our minds. The majority has the right to change its mind. But it is not, skewed it as you are indicating. That some people may say that it is skewed in favor of one person. For now, it is just a proposal. If the majority still thinks that what decision that was taken earlier was right, so be it. If the majority upon reclining thinks that no, we agree that maybe we didn't look at this well, So let's go back to it. What is wrong with that? I've been in Parliament. Parliament has made laws, and later on we realized that no, what we did was wrong. Let's go back to it. So even in Parliament, the Parliament as a whole can change its mind. What is wrong with that? Do you say that Parliament has changed its mind because they want to satisfy somebody? Not at all.
Leader, but where do you stand in this? Where do you stand?
I stand with what the majority of people will decide on.
Leader, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for your time. Attah-Mensah Bosu, former member of parliament for the Swami constituency, former majority leader, former minority leader, former minister of state in charge of parliamentary affairs, and former plenty things. Now serving as chief of staff at the office of the MPP presidential candidate, Dr. Muhammad Ubami. We'll go for a quick break. When we come back, Nashika Caesar is here to bring us the latest in the world of business. But remember, if you've not sent your messages yet, remember to send it to 0539 986 996, 0539 986 996, where we bring you talk back the views and opinions you express on the stories we brought to you tonight on Eyewitness News will be read out to you.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
You know that feeling. A hospital bill that arrives out of nowhere. A diagnosis you weren't prepared for. A system that seems designed to confuse you, and costs that keep climbing. And the stress of not knowing if you're protected. Eden isn't lost. Eden Care was created to give it back to you. Eden Care is health insurance made for everyday family life. With Eden Care, getting health care is easy, and you are backed by a trusted insurance partner with years of experience. No confusing terms, just complete protection for your entire family. Step back into peace. Step into experience you can rely on. Reach out right now at 059 692 1844 and choose Eden Care today. Eden Care is brought to you by Acacia Health Insurance, a member of the Enterprise Group.
Hey, Kwame, why are you inspecting the cables like you suspect something?
Hey, Kofi, these days, the market's hard, oh. Substandard cables everywhere. Last week, someone nearly burned somebody's house.
Hey, that's why me, if it no be Nexon's cable metal low smoke anti-counterfeit cable, I know they touch them.
What did they do different?
My brother, if fire catch, some cables go smoke till you no fit see front. But with Nexon's cable metal low smoke anti-counterfeit cable, the smoke reduce well. People fit escape. It is save lives. Plus, it reduce the release of toxic gases. And you fit verify say it be the authentic cable by just scanning the cable with the Nexon's app, even if them use the cable wire safe.
So it be like choosing safety first, eh?
Exactly. Authentic, quality, original. Nexon's cable metal no they disappoint. All cables no be the same, oh. Don't just chase price. Go for proven quality products, proudly made in Ghana. Nexon's cable metal low smoke cable. This is the future of cabling in Ghana.
Electricity no get leg. It be Nexon's cable metal cable they carry up.
Chairman, when should I expect the goods?
But you haven't paid for the last one you owe me.
Oh, we spoke about this. Help a sister out, eh? I will sort you out immediately after I clear this batch.
See, I know how this goes. I'm not ready for that today.
Just this one time. Hey, if I miss this delivery, I'm finished.
You still the beg supplier. When Misika is offering flexible loans, all you need is to sign up as an MTN merchant, dial *171# and follow the prompt. Get a loan and a partner who understands your journey. Misika Day for you.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
This is Eyewitness News coming to you live from our studios here in Accra. Remember, Eyewitness News is live on our affiliates across the country. In the Western region, we are live on Premier 100.5 FM, Beach 105.5 FM, and Sky 93.5 FM in Takrade. In the Bono region, we are live on Greener 95.9 FM in Sunyani. In the Afro region, we are live on Hammers Radio 106.5 FM in Goso. In the Ashanti region, hear us on Orange 107.9 FM in Kumasi, as well as Alpha Radio or 104.9 FM also in Kumasi. In the Volta region, we are live on Global 105.1 FM in Ho and Adano 107.7 FM in Adaklo. In the Northern region, we are live on Diamond 93.7 FM in Tamale. In the Upper West region, we are live on Westlink 88.1 FM in Lora and Popole 92.7 FM in Wa. In the Upper East region, hear us on Source 100.1 FM in Boko and Pure 100.5 FM in Navrongo. And in the Northeast region, we are live on Scab 101.3 FM in Nankpanduri. Now Shika is here with the latest in business. Hello, Na.
Hi, Sammy.
What's
How
the
you
latest?
doing?
I'm well, thank you.
Right. In business now, the Bank of Ghana is saying that fraud cases have gone up by 48%.
Yeah, I read it.
Yes. Have you ever experienced this?
No, me and you saw them. So
Good for you.
Give us the details.
Right. The total reported fraud cases across Ghana's financial sector surged by 48% in a single year, increasing from 16,733 cases in 2024 to 24,768 cases in 2025. According to the Bank of Ghana's 2025 fraud report, the sharp rise reflects an unprecedented increase in financial crimes, largely driven by the rapid expansion of the country's mobile money services and digital payments ecosystem. Here's more.
The central bank attributed the rise in fraud cases almost entirely to the electronic payment ecosystem, noting that fraud has increasingly migrated to digital payment platforms in line with the rapid growth in electronic transactions and relatively lower levels of digital literacy among some users. Fraud incidents reported by the sector rose by 54% to 24,124 in 2025 to 15,673 in 2024. The value at risk in the sector also nearly doubled, increasing by 95% from 19 million Ghana cedis to 37 million Ghana cedis. Unlike the digital payment sector, banks recorded a significant improvement in fraud indicators during the year. Reported fraud cases fell by 34% to 472 in 2025 from 716 in 2024, while the value at risk declined by 24% to 57 million Ghana cedis from 75 million Ghana cedis.
Netali Ajaho with that business desk report. Let's move away from that now. And Ghana's cargo trade maintained strong momentum in March, with container traffic through the Tema and Takoradi port rising to 24.7% year-on-year to 91,742 containers, even as passenger arrivals slipped 1.8% to 96,402. This is according to the Bank of Ghana's May 2026 monetary policy report. Here's more.
The sharp increase in container volumes reflect continued growth in trade through the country's two main seaports. In March 2025, the ports handled 73,577 laden containers compared with 91,742 during the same period this year. The strong March performance also lifted the first quarter cargo volumes. Total laden container traffic reached 237,018 containers between January and March 2026. This is up by 15.5% from the 205,145 containers recorded during the corresponding period last year. While cargo activity strengthened, passenger traffic was more subdued. The report showed that 96,412 passengers arrived through Ghana's international airport and land borders in March, compared with 98,146 arrivals in March 2025. Passenger arrivals were, however, broadly unchanged from 96,494 recorded in February, suggesting travel demand remained relatively stable on a monthly basis. Despite the March decline, international arrivals posted modest growth over the first 3 months of the year. Cumulative passenger arrivals reached 302,993 in the first quarter of 2026, representing a 2.6% increase from the 295,415 recorded during the same period in 2025.
Emmanuel Opong with that report. Moving away from that, Minister of Food and Agriculture Eric Opoku has tasked the newly commissioned brigades and the Feed Ghana program to drive the country's agricultural transformation by increasing food production and reducing dependence on imports. A total of 506 brigades comprising 420 men and 86 women have been deployed to support farmers with extension services, technical assistance and implementation of modern farming practices across the country. Speaking at the commissioning ceremony, Ms. Opoku said the success of the program will depend on the commitment and professionalism of the brigades as they work directly with farmers to improve yields and expand local food production.
My dear brigadiers, you are stepping into your roles at a defining moment. The country expects much from you. Our farmers expect much from you. Government expects much from you. Your families expect much from you. Above all, Ghana, our nation, expects much from you. You must therefore serve with humility, serve with discipline, serve with honesty, serve with patriotism, and serve with urgency. We are not waiting for the future. We are building it now. We are not waiting for others to feed us. We are preparing to feed ourselves. We are not waiting for jobs to appear by chance. We are creating them through production. We are not waiting for agriculture to change by itself. We are organizing, training, coordinating, and investing to make that change happen.
That was the Minister of Food and Agriculture, Eric Opoku, speaking there. Now, management of Ghana Trade Fair Company Limited says it is stepping up efforts to strengthen small and medium-sized enterprise sector as part of its broader strategy to drive economic growth. Speaking at the company's SME Connect capacity building program, the Chief Executive Officer, Nik Amarteifio, said the redevelopment of the Ghana Trade Fair into a modern hub for trade, exhibitions and conferences must go hand in hand with building the capacity of the businesses expected to operate from the facility.
At the Ghana Trade Fair Company Limited, we believe our responsibility extends beyond organizing exhibition as we redevelop the Ghana Trade Fair Center into a modern hub for trade, exhibitions, conferences, and business events. We are equally committed to developing the businesses that will occupy those spaces and drive Ghana's economic growth. As a trade promotion institution under the Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, our mandate is to promote trade and support enterprise development. SME Connect is a key initiative through which we can deliver on that mandate by bringing together entrepreneurs, industry experts, financial institutions, and strategic partners. We are equipping businesses with practical knowledge, strengthening strategic partnership, and expanding opportunities for growth, innovation, and access to new markets.
That was the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Trade Fair Company Limited, Nik Amarteifio, ending this business edition of Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Na. Thank you very much for that latest in the world of business. This is Eyewitness News coming to you live from our studios here in Accra. We'll go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll bring you Talk Back. And remember, Talk Back is brought to you by Valex Lease Equip Limited. Valex Lease Affordable Document Management Solutions.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Enterprise Blue FM.
Enterprise Blue FM, the bus.
It's DJ E on Enterprise Blue FM. Guys, after the heavy rains this week, we are looking for the calmest person in Ghana. Who's the most chill person you know right now? Let's go.
DJ, it has to be Mansa. Look, the flood entered her house and completely submerged her car. Next time I see on the WhatsApp status, she's smiling and sipping tea on her balcony. Like me, I'll be crying, but she's totally relaxed. DJ, AJE, it's true. Master's home and car are destroyed. But this girl is not stressing at all. She just tells us everything is under control. Hey, Mansa, how?
Wow, Mansa, we need your secret too.
They say Entoa, but when unexpected floods strike, we've got you covered. At Enterprise Insurance, with over 100 years of experience, we say whether it's home, motor, travel, or insurance for your business, Entoa, if it happens, chill.
Enterprise, your advantage.
Introducing Ghana's leading pay-as-you-copy photocopier leasing company. Lease an A4, A3, heavy-duty or production machine and pay for only the copies made or design your own payment plan. Simple and tietia. That's not all. Incredibly, toners, repairs, maintenance, follow-me printing, centralized tracking all come free of charge. Remember, financial prudence is the name of the game. Folks, forget about the expensive gimmicks and be smart. Join the hundreds of satisfied clients across all the 16 regions and every sector of the economy and save over 60% of your printing costs. Visit us at www.valexlease.com or call 0244-644048. Be prudent and lease a copier. Terms and conditions apply. Valex Lease is a wholly owned Ghanaian company. Valex Lease, affordable document management solutions.
Ufie betumi adani baby a upebia. Betumi adani stadium. Enough acquire your boot TV and computer game. Aha! Yanko! Atoda! Betumi adani classroom.
Madam, me patcho menti ase.
Yo, yes I'm fasubio. Ni wo he na wonti ase no.
Nini na.
Betumi adani office.
Aha, orders no ahi na you ready. Okay, mundi kan fanko is the gun.
Betumi po, that's why you fa ko a. Ye nhwehwemu wo.
Daddy, e dey na big bang theory.
Chain, mami busa chat GPT.
Ubetumi amofie adani baby a opese eyibia. Efse emfa ho ni ne opese oye wo fie. MTN fiber betumi aboa amwoye na 500 Mbps unlimited internet. Ani bo no form a free 299 Ghana cedis echo for MTN fiber bro fie. Ana waduma mu ede. Go my MTN app no so. Ana sebo *5057#. Go check your fiber availability no so. Ana say number e wo je no. Na receive fiber broadband e wo baby a otino a. Na tobi ene ya.
MTN.
Everybody they sell, but your shop they empty.
Where's my report?
Bro, month no end here too. But see, your pocket stop they take. Another emergency for the house.
Come me get ideas. Ideas go kill them.
Another idea, another mark time. No capital to start. For some people, this silence no be peaceful. It be money matter.
With bills, there's no need for silence. From my emergency loans to salary loans to working capital loans and startup loans, Bills has you covered.
Apply with your Ghana card today. Call 0596-920-833 or 0302-200-390. Bills, financing your needs. T's and C's apply.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Welcome back. This is Eyewitness News coming to you live from our studios here in Accra. It's now time for Talk Back, where we bring you the views and opinions you express on the stories we brought to you tonight on Eyewitness. Remember, Talk Back is brought to you by Valex Lease Equip Limited. Valex Lease affordable document management solutions. Now let's start from Koku Bansa from Abutia Teti. It says, this case borders on absurd. Hanan cited an online border booking as proof of his UK appointment. Yet, the Attorney General reportedly dismissed all that he said to discredit the claim. This review striking ignorance. Boots is one of the UK's largest health retailers, with Boots opticians among the most trusted high street optical services nationwide, along pharmacies and health hearing care clinic. An online booth booking is entirely consistent with a visit to the hospital. We are surprised the Attorney General and Minister of Justice is behaving this way. Paul Jr. in her form says the Office of the Attorney General must stop violating the basic rights of Ghanaians. If the AG believes Hanan has committed any crime, he must be brought before court for prosecution. Kobe Brasha says the MPP wouldn't have been experiencing this arrest now if they had governed well when they had the mandate of Ghanaians for 8 years. As Chachu Chikata once said, when you sow the wind, you reap what it comes with it. Akasori Joseph says, when they were like me, they treated themselves with board neem tree leaf. Now they have stolen enough and they... Joseph, I'm unable to get your message very well. I'll be glad if you can send it again. Hanan is a man who trusts and believes in Allah. He has at the point put everything in the hands of Allah Almighty to fight for him after suffering persecution from Iyoko and AG. We, the people of Pusiga, are with him in prayers, and we believe he will come out clean and finish the vision he has started in the Pusiga constituency. This is from Joseph Akasoka in Pusiga Upper East region. Godwin from Pando. It says, do we not have hospitals in Ghana? It is concerning that some people, after alleged mismanagement of public funds, choose to seek medical attention abroad when they face challenges. We were told that under the previous government, significant investments were made in Ghana's healthcare system, including the construction of Agenda 111 hospitals. So why are some leaders still traveling abroad for medical checkups? The MPP must take accountability seriously and stop avoiding responsibility. Hamdan, no 9, no 10. From Yoyi South says, in the first place, it doesn't make sense for a person under criminal investigations to be allowed to leave the country. What if he travels and refuses to come back? Richard in Amasama says, what is Godfred Dami saying? Tell him the law is the law. What didn't he do to his opponents under Nana Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia when the MPP was in power? Godfred Dami must taste his own bitter medicine. Godfred Dami cannot dictate how the law should work. If he has any misgivings, he should go to the court and stop this public noise about Papa by Jones Adoboy in La. Kofi Nakra says the alleged arrest of the former boss of the food and buffer stock company is unfortunate, though, but it is also possible that government is avoiding another case where he is running away from accountability, as Ken Ofori-Atta did some few years ago. Then he will also go and apply for permanent residential visa. Kwaku Bansa says the case, okay, I've read this one already from Kwaku Bansa. Abi Nationaliwa says the minority, the less talk about them, the better. When they were in opposition, they talk about the law, but when in power, they put the law aside and they give us whatever they want. They should give us a break. Godwin from Pando says, it is unfortunate the minority refused to listen because the president was very clear that the money from the fund will be used to support the affected flood victims. We are tired of the minority always talking about issues. Or is it that they have nothing to do than just remain in opposition? This coming from Godwin in Pando. Malam Fuseni Tamale says, let this government understand that the precedent they are creating for all political office holders with this outrageous and unimaginable bail condition and excessive detention. Don't forget the tables will turn one day. No matter what they do, let nobody complain when the same principle applies to them. They should keep Hanan forever. However, they deem it fit, but the warning bells are ringing and it won't be long. We the people from Oyarifa, he says, the argument that the chairman should be the leader of the party because the party is bigger than the flag bearer is absolutely deficient. Why not say that the party is bigger than both the chairman and the flag bearer? Are the two not elected by the same party delegates? For me, the flag bearer should automatically become the leader of the party because the ultimate goal of any political party is to capture political power. And this is incumbent on the flag bearer and not the party chairman. Talking about the decision of the NPP to amend portions of its constitution. Another one said, support our road minister. Contractors must ensure quality work are done on our roads, as shoddy construction leads to costly repairs for the state. Terminating contracts with lazy and non-performing contractors should not be accepted. Residents should hesitate to hold lazy and not performing contractors accountable to ensure our roads are fixed and maintained well. This is from Wales Yoga Abutia 30 Volta region. Ras Has from Tamale says, the incident of Jaboso is unfortunate. The police must act professionally at all times. However, community members should be educated on security issues and not obstruct the police in the discharge of their duties. If the suspect was arrested and no evidence of drug dealing found on him, he should be released immediately. The very last one says, I'm not getting this one. I skipped to Jack from Merigu in the Upper East region. It says, NDC, what are you saying? That running to the media is bad? What did NDC say in the media when they were in opposition? To the extent that every issue, they'll go to the media and Sami Jenfi will hold a press conference. God is the judge and not we and the media who are just doing their job. Quite a number of messages coming in. That's a wrap up today's edition of Eyewitness. Remember, talk back on Eyewitness News brought to you by Valex Lease Equip Limited. Valex Lease affordable document management solution. And that's a wrap up today's edition of Eyewitness News. That came to you live from our studio here in Accra. My name is Sami Wiafe. Show produced by Beverly London, Fred Tete Jabano, and Kwabena Wilson, as well as Julian Audami with technical assistance from Desmond Nyako. Till we come your way again, may the good Lord be with us all.
City News. We speak first. Reach our hotline on 0302 224959 and get interactive on Facebook, City 97.3 FM, and on Twitter at City 973.